Today, the United Nations released a report on the assassination of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. And I must warn you, this report is very difficult to read. I will be reading you passages of this that you might not want to hear. The report lays out in horrifying detail the events leading up to and following Jamal Khashoggi's murder and suggests that the killing was authorized by officials at the highest levels of the Saudi royal court. In one harrowing passage, the report describes an exchange that took place between a forensic doctor who worked for the Saudi Interior Ministry and a Saudi intelligence official just minutes before Jamal Khashoggi entered the Saudi consulate in Turkey. Now, this is where I must warn you. This is where you might want to mute the volume on this. This will not be easy to read, but I want to give you a feeling of just how much detail and how much surveillance material has been used in putting this investigation together at the United Nations. What I'm about to read you is the most horrifying thing that I've ever had to read from this chair. So with that warning, I'm going to proceed with this. It says, inside the consulate, the intelligence officer and the doctor had a conversation just minutes before Mr. Khashoggi entered. The intelligence officer asked whether it will be possible to put the trunk in a bag. The doctor replied, no, too heavy. He expressed hope that it would be easy. Joints will be separated. It is not a problem. The body is heavy. First time I cut on the ground. If we take plastic bags and cut it into pieces, it will be finished. We will wrap each of them, leather bags. The report claims that its findings warrant investigation of high-level Saudi officials, individual liability, including the crown princes. Today, President Trump's nominee to be ambassador to the United Nations, Kelly Craft, faced questions from lawmakers at her Senate confirmation hearing. Craft is the wife of a major Trump donor who currently sits as the ambassador to Canada, where she has been criticized for being mysteriously absent from her job in Canada over 300 days since taking office in October 2017. Most of the questions from the Democrats at her confirmation hearing revolved around her unexplained absences and her family's history of climate denialism. But Senator Tim Kaine did ask her about Jamal Khashoggi.
I want to ask really specifically about Khashoggi, because this is now going to be in your wheelhouse if you're confirmed. There's a request that the UN, including the Security Council, act. So let me just state it again as I did. Do you believe that there should be accountability for the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi?
I believe that where this investigation will take us, we will follow. And if, yes, anyone who's responsible.
After this break, New York Times Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist Nicholas Kristof will join us on the UN report on the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. Today, the fiancé of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi wrote in an op-ed for the New York Times, if Jamal and his principles have any humanitarian and moral worth, this is the time to speak up, to support the struggle for democracy in the Arab world. Isn't it crucial to speak up against his violent death? If people of virtue don't stand up today for a man who defended such values and fought to advance them in his country, then who else is going to do it? Joining our discussion now, Nicholas Kristof, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the New York Times and friend of Jamal Khashoggi. Your reaction to the UN report today?
This is a magnificent report. I mean, I read it with just such exhilaration. It has been so frustrating for people who knew Jamal to, see him murdered, dismembered, then to see a cover-up in Saudi Arabia with claims that he had walked out of the consulate, with other people supposedly being put on trial, with the government not even announcing what happened to his body, and then to have the U.S. participate in that cover-up and say it wasn't clear whether MBS was involved. This has just been so painful. And then to see this 100-page UN report laying out meticulously how the Saudi Arabian government organized an assassination squad on foreign territory, saying that other countries should declare universal jurisdiction and impose criminal sanctions. And maybe most important, this UN report specifically called on other countries to impose financial sanctions, personal sanctions on the Crown Prince, targeting his personal assets abroad. You know, this is a guy, the Crown Prince has a $300 million home, a chateau in France, sometimes said to be the most expensive home in the world. You know, I don't really think it's going to be seized, but let him worry.
But that's
a
what the
little bit
UN
about
is
that.
calling for. In this
That's what they're
report.
calling for. And that's, you know, they just lay it out. It's going to be a lot harder for President Trump to ignore this report. You know, I hope that within the Saudi government, it will also make it just a little bit harder when King Salman dies, for the Crown Prince to inherit and become the next king. If that happens, we're stuck with the Crown Prince for the next 50 years as king. You know, and so I hope this will be one more impediment to him inheriting from his father as well.
And it seems to me the graphic detail in the report is there specifically for the Donald Trumps of the world to say this is the evidence, and the surveillance evidence they have is quite extraordinary.
I mean, it's breathtaking. This lays out in forensic detail how they planned it, how this, you know, this wasn't some accident he got in a fight. This was planned to murder him, to dismember him from before he entered. Then there was this enormous cover-up afterward. You know, look, if President Trump simply refuses to look, and I think he did that in the case of American intelligence, which told him that MBS was behind it, then, you know, then there's only so much you can do. But I think this does begin to chip away at the impunity that the Crown Prince has enjoyed. And, you know, as his fiancée said, look, it's too late to save Jamal's life, but there are other people who are facing the death penalty in Saudi Arabia. Maybe this will place a little bit more pressure on other world leaders to speak up for other people who may face executions. Maybe it'll make the Crown Prince a little less likely to murder some other journalist abroad or at home within Saudi Arabia.
Nicholas Kristof, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you,
your
Lawrence.
friend Jamal and this very, very important turning point, what I hope is a turning point in this story. Thank you.
I hope it's accountability.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.